listening to Your Worst Friend with Shane and Matt. I'm Matt. I'm joined today by my friend and co-host Shane,
Hello.
and the goddamn superstar we have with us today. This girl is the biggest deal, I believe, that we've ever interviewed with, and we'll explain why and talk about it. Sure, we've interviewed people with more followers. No offense to her, they're still growing, but I think she is the biggest deal in terms of credits and everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce her, get her to say hello, and then we're going to go through her plugs, and then we'll probably just wrap up because it's going to take the entire show. Ana Foxxx.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Ana Foxxx. You can find her on Twitter, ANAFOXXX. On OnlyFans, same thing, ANAFOXXX. Instagram, this tells me she had them all coordinated at some point, and then Instagram booted her. Yep, that's what it is. Foxy underscore Scorpio, FOXY_SC. Wow, I can't read. ORPIO. And if you want to, let's get real close to this mic and be real creepy about it. If you want to feel Ana Foxxx, you can go to fleshlight.com/Ana Foxxx, ANAFOXXX. She is a Playboy model and producer. Okay. She's the most awarded Black woman in the adult industry. She's your 2022 Urban X Awards Performer of the Year. Oh, by the way, that's like winning the MVP as you're also making it into the Hall of Fame. She's also an Urban X Awards Hall of Famer. What has this girl not done? We will eventually find out. Thank you very much for coming on today, Ana Foxxx.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm glad I could make it.
So were you shooting something today, or were you?
Yeah, I'm doing paint and sip, and they're having a conversation with a lot of different sex workers. So they're getting sorry, that's a big truck. They're trying to get their sexual wellness perspectives from different sex workers.
That's awesome. Let me start with that, actually, because it's almost, it'll lead into about how much you actually like this industry. And it's a question I just thought up today. If I could promise you double whatever you're going to make every year for the rest of your life to not work in porn, would you still want to work in the adult industry? So you made $2 million this year. I hope so, and I wish. I'm promising you next year you're going to sit at a desk and you're going to work a 9 to 5 doing some other job, and you're going to make $4 million. And 10 years from now, when you would have been making $5 million, you'll be making $10 million.
I would probably decline because I would accept that money for no working, but if I'm gonna work, I'd work here.
Okay. So then
Yeah.
That's what it leads into. It's much more than just I feel like we've also interviewed a lot of amateur girls that are just breaking into the industry. And a lot of girls nowadays, especially with independent content creators and the programs like OnlyFans and this and that, a lot of girls go into it going quick buck. And I'm sure there were a lot of girls who started out in the industry who was like, I'll just do a couple scenes, make some cash, pay some rent, whatever. That doesn't seem to be your case at all. You are like full, both feet into this industry, and you love it, right?
I'm all in it. I have like 8 jobs here.
Okay. All right. So what is your favorite? I mean, you've now directed, how much have you directed so far? I know you've done at least one.
I've directed a lot. I've started off directing a lot of not a lot. I started off directing girl stuff. Then I moved into producing for Playboy, and now I've directed like boy girl scenes. And I guess if you kind of count OnlyFans as a production / director thing, then we all are now directors and producers. But I've directed a little bit because I perform more than I work, but now I'm kind of like transitioning into like the behind the camera part.
So now are you limiting, not limiting as in you're cutting it off, but are you taking on less scenes in front of the camera to do more stuff behind the camera? And also piggyback on top of that, what goes into producing for Playboy? Are you picking out the girls? Are you coming up with the scenarios? Is it like a producer, like the Academy Awards, the best picture goes to the producer, not the director. So is that your job where you're basically the maestro? You're piecing everything together?
Oh my gosh, yes. For production, I am the maestro. I pick everything from the snacks to the girls to the thongs to the location to the water, makeup artist, cameraman, lighting dude. It's so much work that goes into producing that I appreciate it a lot more. So currently I have been working in front of the camera a lot less, not necessarily because I'm producing, but I am waiting for the talent pool to kind of come up. Like I feel like we have a lot of new people who aren't necessarily so secure, and our industry likes to put, I'll say, veterans with new people just to kind of like make those matches so they can teach new people. But I'm not really wanting to be a teacher. So I'm kind of like bowing out gracefully until I can work with some teachers. Like I'm trying to still learn stuff. So
So there's you
Oh,
definitely
that's
feel
good.
that learning curve when you're shooting with a smaller name, not a smaller name, a newer guy to the industry, right?
yeah, newer guy or girl, they just like a lot of nervous tension, like kind of like a Tinder date, where you're nervous and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, like what do I do? And I think our job is pretty straightforward. So um I just want our little new baby tadpoles to to grow up into hungry frogs.
I understand. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, we've been noticing that lately, the difference between interviewing
Uh,
again mainstream performers where they're a little bit more media savvy and newer like OnlyFans girls who've only done this and that, and there's definitely you guys are a little bit easier to work with, and that's no offense to them because they'll eventually get to that point if they stick with it. But you know,
well, not
No.
only that, well, sorry, not only that, but there's a noticeable like shit or a difference in attitude too. So just
Yeah.
how you had brought up with Anna being involved in production, directing, and just so many aspects of porn, and wanting to be immersed and like not bowing out, even if it means a more secure, better paying job. That's like something that seems to be missing in the younger talent we're noticing too. We've only interviewed a couple who just from the interviews that we did who were like, yeah, I just really want to fuck in front of a camera and then and maybe like branch out and do some like behind the camera fuck work. It's just it's something we notice less and less with the newer generation, especially geez, we've interviewed what this is the third season of Going Deeper. We've interviewed probably, I don't know, 20 veterans and what,
more than that,
10,
yeah, and probably about 12 amateurs so far,
12
probably about
amateurs.
30.
And
But
we got a
Yeah.
good balance, I think.
that kind
That's
of
good.
yeah, that leads into so I had a question there about that. Did you always want to direct? Or was it just something you grew like did you get tired of shitty directors and you were like, motherfucker, I could do this better. I know
Right.
I could do this better.
Not gonna lie, no, I did not always want to direct. I too was a young tadpole and like super excited and just eager just to be on camera. So my beginning goals were just pretty basic. Like I just want to fuck, just like suck dick or whatever, just work. um but yeah, I can say that probably um bad production has made me want to produce, bad makeup has made me become a makeup artist. Like just 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 whatever I didn't like, if I felt like I could do it better, then I really wanted to try to do it better. So from any aspect in the game, like if I could do it better, then I'm gonna try.
And
That's
was
that's a
your first
winning yeah, go ahead, Shane. Sorry.
it is a winning attitude.
That
Was
really
your
is, yeah.
was your first scene that you directed like a girl scene? Was it something you shot with a friend? How did you set it up?
So I knew this company. I don't think that they're still active. It was called Smash Pictures. Um, I knew that the owner of that company, other fucking truck, the owner of that company kind of had like a little bit of a crush on me. So I kind of was like, well, let me use this to my advantage. And then I asked him like, okay, well, since you produce and you've had other girls produce, like, what did they do? And he's like, oh, I just literally gave it to them. And I was like, oh, really? So I was like, well, if it's that easy, if I just have to ask and you shall receive, then I will ask. So I produced my first movie, and it was Ana Foxx's Filthy Fashion Models, and it was an all-girl movie. And I chose at the time I chose new girls and girls that I liked. Kira Noir was brand new, and I thought she still is freaking stunning. So I was like super excited, and she was down. And then I chose Charlotte Jennings because she was the girl performer of the year. And then last but not least, I chose one of my best friends, Lotus Lane, because she's just a badass. So
Sure.
I put together like badass group of girls and made a movie, and it was my first movie, and it was pretty awesome.
I read something that has to be bullshit, and it has to be bullshit now about you. I have read you don't work out. You have the most insanely in shape body I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, you know what's funny? So I guess I should clarify. I don't go to the gym and like traditionally work out, but I've been active since I was a kid. I have a big family. I have a lot of brothers, and I like to make them cry. So I've been very competitive in like sports and things like that. I don't. So I do not work out in the gym. I'm just an active person. Like if you're running, I'm gonna run faster than you. And especially like in porn, it's very
Phys-
active, so
physically demanding, yeah.
demanding. So if they say like, oh, you can take a break, like, if you can't do this position because it's too uncomfortable, I'm like, I'm a superhero now. I can do anything I want to do. Like, you don't tell me to take a break. I tell you to take a break. So yeah, no, it brings me great joy to be competitive. So I think I'm just pretty physically fit because I'm competitive. But I am no longer 21. So the gym is looking at me. I'm looking at it. We're about to be friends soon because I gotta, things don't always stay in shape.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I go through the pictures to design the social media posts, and I was like, there's not one here where she doesn't have like the flattest stomach I've ever seen on anyone in my life. It's like, oh, okay, good. We could just use this as a level if we were fucking putting up drywall.
Yes.
Let me ask you, did that competitiveness ever have negative effects on you early on in your porn career? Comics, a lot of the time, will look at someone who gets something and be like, I'm funnier than that person. Did you ever have anyone who was, when you were breaking into the industry, getting all the big roles and you were like, you don't even have to name them. I'm not asking for that. But there was, yeah, also name all of them and their social security numbers. But was there anyone that ever, where you were like, why are they top of the heap right now? That should be me. Or were you just the reasonable human being you seem like, and you were like, I will eventually work my way up to that hill?
I think when I started, like I couldn't help but like be told who my competitors were, and I thought that was really weird because well, I don't mind saying the names because when I started, these women are fucking phenomenal and iconic. Misty Stone and Skin Diamond were
Oh,
who I
Skin
was always.
Diamond, yeah.
I was constantly, they're like, well, she's the top. She does the most shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's really cool. But I seen her work and I'm not at that level. I'm a white belt. She's a black belt. So I'm not trying to like run up there and I don't know how to beat people up. so,
So even though you're like
so
hungry and diving in, you seem to have like a really good head on your shoulders about not biting off more than you can chew, which is
a hundred,
really, oh, sorry,
a
I didn't
hundred,
mean to cut you off.
oh, no worries. No worries. Go ahead, Shane.
Oh, I was just saying it's a great balance to have. It's probably why you're so successful, like the ambition curtailed with the knowing when to learn, you know?
Yeah, I definitely knew that I was not only a novice to the industry, but to the overall act of sex itself. So when I joined porn, I was really just trying to learn about it, like kind of like a sex education, but in a safe space.
Really?
So I didn't get into it to compete. I got into it to learn. And then after a while, um, I kind of became my own competitor, like how can I do what I did better, not necessarily competing with anyone else because unless somebody like looks identical to you, there's no way that you can compete with one because people are your fans for you. Like they like you because you're this size, this shape, this color, this age, whatever it is, they like you for you. So unless somebody is like your identical twin person, you can't compete, and copying them is not going to work because their fans are going to know, like, did you just do that person's catchphrase? You know, like, you can't really copy or compete with anyone but yourself. So I am my own competitor.
So that takes us into an interesting landscape that I wanted to discuss with you. And feel free to shut us down. Two middle-aged white guys fucking have no business commenting on any of this, I'm sure. But how has race impacted you in the industry? And have you seen it change since then? Have things gotten a little easier? Because you, for as young as you look, you are still young, but you've been in the industry a long time. So
Yeah.
have things definitely changed, at least for the better, in terms of race? As we see, like, one of our first interviews was with Sarah J. And one of the things I do like about her is she wants to get rid of the interracial tag.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how has race changed in the porn industry over the last 10 years or whatever it was?
Well, in the beginning, it definitely was positive because porn is a land of fetishes. So I obviously fit into a niche that I dominated. Like, if you like black women, I'm blacker than black. So, I'm gonna excel in that part. But where it would hurt is when companies would come out and exclude black women or women of color. And I think that is kind of like what got me into activism within porn. Just seeing that there were places that you couldn't be if you were a woman of color. So I really just kind of like wanted to start the conversations a lot, and to make people uncomfortable more, so it can change. Because if you don't like something, then you're going to change it. So I think it's gotten a lot better, but the change has been very slow. A lot of people on the opposing side are like, no, it's great now. And I'm like, no, it's better. It's not great, but it's better and it's changing. And I'm thankful that people are willing to listen and willing to give the mic to people to speak, because a lot of people feel
They feel that way about it.
that guy. A lot of people feel unheard and are kind of afraid that if they speak up against something that they might be blacklisted, because that just happened. If you rub people the wrong way, if they don't like what you're saying, they don't have to work with you. And so I kind of was just like, well, I will take myself and be the sacrificial lamb. I will say what needs to be said. I will do what needs to be done, just so that way people after me can feel more comfortable in this space, because porn is fun and I think everybody should be happy here.
Man, I have a joke and I don't want to make it because I'm scared it's going to offend you.
Please throw the joke at me.
You're like the porn Rosa Parks.
Oh, it's funny. I've gotten that before.
Porn apart.
Who else? I won't say the other person, but yeah, no, I've gotten that before.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I think it's great. I think another aspect to it is the total control that the performers are able to get as it goes down. Like, all the girls we've talked to nowadays, right? If I interviewed somebody 10 years ago, we interviewed Gage. I don't know if you remember Gage from back in the early 2000s, little tiny white girl. She from the South, real fucking firecracker. She would fight to get scenes and this and that. And now it sounds like the scenes are more an advertisement for your OnlyFans, like the major market. There's money there for sure. You guys get a paycheck at the end, hopefully. But that being at the top of Brazzers or Reality Kings or any of those is also going to get you a ton of signups onto your OnlyFans. Is that right? Is that accurate?
I definitely do like to use scenes as promotion and like push of the traffic to my OnlyFans, because it's definitely changing. Before, like in the early 2000s, like people had websites, and then you had to sign up to the companies, so everybody relied on companies for money. But now with the whole COVID thing, I don't know if I want to thank God for that or knock on wood for that, but because of COVID, we now have everything direct to us. Like, no, you couldn't go to companies because we couldn't shoot for companies. So all of our traffic came directly to us. So now, yeah, sure, browsers, I'll take your virgins. I will take your weak and your thirsty.
I read something interesting about you, that one of the things you really wanted to shoot was a trans gangbang scene.
Hell yeah.
More so trans, bisexual, just like very fluid, because it's really strange that our industry is very like you're either like
Rigid.
100% gay or straight. Yeah. And I'm like, I know these people. I've seen what they do off camera. You mean to
Yeah.
tell me person is a straight male performer? Okay. You know, like I would like to see some dudes suck some dick, like help me. So I don't
Yeah.
want it to be, I don't want to be in a like a straight gangbang, because it's so weird. Like all these dudes are like, don't touch my shoulder, bro, that's gay. I'm like, what? No, touch his shoulder, put his head on this, you know, help lend a hand, put a finger there, you know, like everybody should be kind of like stirring the
So
pot.
it's less about like being trans or what everybody is, and just more about what everybody feels, and that is just going
Yeah.
with the scene, and everybody's cool with everybody. And you know, like, it doesn't matter if one of your partners is a trans person and they finger your asshole, like whatever, like you know, this is a trans gangbang, you know. I feel like that is something that Matt and I have debated before. Like, he gets real mad when I'm like, oh yeah, dude, if the guy's hot enough, I'll suck his dick, you know? He's like, no, dude, that's
I don't. No. Let's pause. Don't let Ana Foxx make it seem like I'm fucking rocking a Trump hat just because I have this pinhead haircut right now. Let's get this straight. Shane will go, I'll let a guy suck my dick, and I'll go, that's great for you. And he goes, you should do it too. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's not for me. It's not my niche. It's not my fetish. I don't want some guy with a beautiful scruffy beard rubbing it on my thighs.
Well, then
Not
how
my
are you going to
thing.
shoot a scene with Ana Foxx
I'm
if
not
you don't
going to
let a
shoot
guy
a scene with
suck your
Ana Foxx.
dick?
Ana Foxx has eyes. She can see that she doesn't want to shoot with me. Okay.
I don't
She's
know. If you become a little
very.
more fluid, I think she might become open to the idea.
No. That's not how that works. Trust me. You are on mute, and I don't know if there's a giant truck going by, but you muted yourself while you're. Oh, okay. While you're muted, what I'm gonna do is plug you here. Twitter, Ana Foxx, ANAFOXX. OnlyFans, Ana Foxx. Instagram, Foxy_Scorpio, and fleshlight.com/Ana Foxx if you want to
Oh,
get
I
all
can't
up in
wait.
that, you know. Um, let me go back real quick to the trans performer thing. We recently did an interview. I won't give the name away. But the person does not want to work with crossover performers. And it's always been my thing where I think, you know, hey, your body, your choice. If you don't want to, I totally understand and respect that. Go ahead. You look like you're about to say something.
Yeah, she's about to fix you.
No. I'm just, they're not hungry. But
They
like,
heard you
that's
too.
it's so funny to say, because you don't know what people are doing in their private lives. So to like be like, oh, if you do this on camera, I don't want to work with you. But all the people that you're working with are doing these things in their personal lives and then some. Like, it's not like we never had like crazy nights on tequila and ended up doing something strange for no change. So it's like, it's crazy for me that performers will choose who they work with based on what they do or don't do on camera, because you don't know what they do or don't do in their personal life.
That almost feels like more of a branding thing to me than an actual concern thing. Like if you were worried about, like, you know, quote unquote catching something or whatever it is, and you bought into the stigma, hey, I don't want to work with crossover performers because of that, you would have to know them and know the ins and outs of their entire life. If you don't want to work with a crossover performer because of something they've done on camera, that's almost like, I don't want myself associated with this guy over here who sucks dick. And maybe
That's
I'm
like
wrong
trying to
on that.
stay
I
in the
don't know.
plastics. That's
Right.
mean girl shit.
It is. I agree. I feel like it's mean girl shit, because I feel like if you're gonna be in porn, you need to be open, and like you can have your own personal boundaries, but putting boundaries on other people shouldn't be one. You know, like if you agree to work with people, you should agree with work with people. People. You know, be like, well, I'm this guy eats,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't like that he eats bananas. Like it should
It's
have
it's
nothing.
it's had to go that route. It's one thing if they, so if a performer is saying like, oh yeah, any male talent you throw my way, I'll take it. But then they draw the line with them, you know, like, but it can't be male talent who have done gay scenes or whatever, crossover,
News,
or
they've all done all sucks. They've most of them they've
yeah,
done things.
yeah, it really does highlight the point that like any of the guys that you've agreed to could be doing all the stuff that they did in those scenes in their private life and
100.
worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I love knowing the tea on people, and I know a lot of tea about a lot of people. So it's really funny that anybody would like cross off anyone and accept anyone because this is fluid place.
Sure, sure. Now, by that same thing, and again, tell me to fuck off if this is not whatever. Um, are we in agreement though? If someone personally chooses, maybe you don't have to like fucking stand on the steps of the Capitol, but if they personally choose to not work with that, I think about the girls a few years ago. I forget her name who killed herself after saying she wouldn't work with
Oh,
crossover
August.
performer August Ames. That's right, you
Yeah.
got it. And I don't want that to happen either. Like, if it really is your body, your choice, I think it's your choice to not want to work with those people. How do you feel about cancellations in the industry? Because that is bad, I would say.
I don't think we should cancel anybody. I don't like cancel culture. It's like really, it's really stupid. It seems like a immature, like a spoiled, like whiny kid. Like, "Wah, I'm upset about this, so let everybody else be upset about it." It seems really immature. So like I don't like that at all. Like I really don't think anybody should care about what anybody else's preferences are because I think the way that I do, but not everybody else does. So that doesn't give me the right to shame somebody for not wanting to work with a crossover man, like the right to work with everyone. You have the right to work with whoever you want to, it's all personal preference and not everybody's like as open or as educated on topics and subjects and stuff.
So that brings me to my question on this, because I am just waiting for the day for the article to come out, and I don't want it to. Okay, I really don't want it to, because it's one of my favorite sites ever, and you have worked for them, and yours is one of my favorite scenes ever. Do you know which one I'm talking about? It's so funny. She's gonna rattle off 20 of them. It's not gonna be the one. Something that would look bad in cancel culture nowadays.
It's probably my dog fart blow bang scene with the Confederate flag.
Combang.com. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was easy.
I've noticed they've lost their shirts on recent updates, which is appreciative. My thing is I like blowbangs and I like a gorgeous black chick and I do like interracial. Now I can go either
black
way.
skin, white cum.
I can have
You
big I can have black guys with white girls. I'm totally cool with that. But I'm just waiting for the day when it comes out when we look at those and go, "What the fuck is that?" Somebody. I'm sure it won't be a Christian blogger. Looking
most like Christian blogger.
it might be. Yeah. Well, they all have the memberships.
Well,
They just don't talk about it out loud.
Yeah.
well,
They're there.
that poses a question though. Do you think that the industry is open and fluid enough or will be to understand and accept, because you can't cancel people from previous eras by today's standards, right? We accept that, like,
Well, you can, you shouldn't.
no, well, you shouldn't, because it doesn't make sense. Because those people didn't live by today's standards, so it just doesn't make any sense. So do you think that porn will remain so open and like ahead of the curve, progressive, to where in 30, 50 years the rest of society might still be canceling everything, but porn, like people who know porn, people who work in porn will still look at those scenes and be like, oh, well, that was just a product of the time, like we might not do that anymore. It might be
Right.
uncouth now, but that's like that's still people's kink, and I'm not going to shame those guys for it.
I would hope so because that's kind of how when I decided to do the scene, I got a lot of backlash for it. Not when I did it, like during COVID. I feel like everybody was bored and just looking at shit, and like somebody somewhere was like, "How the fuck would this black girl do this scene with these white guys?" And I was, well, one, if you ask me, I will tell you because in my mind, I'm like already doing porn. Like that's already like taboo. So what's throwing on like some crazy shirts? Like we already do our like the most fucked up shit we can do here. So is it really that crazy that I would suck a bunch of dicks from some dudes with t-shirts on for fetish? Like I also get beat up for fetishes. I also get tied up, spanked, electrocuted. Like that's not the to me, that's not the craziest thing that I could do here. And we like fetishize race all over the place. And I don't mind working in the interracial field. If you like, I get why it's such a big deal because honestly, you can see everything better. Like if I were to, I not that that's like my personal preference, but like when I'm filming, if I'm working with somebody that's just as dark as me, it's really hard just for them to like me myself, let alone two of us. So somebody's got to shine the light somewhere. What's going on? You know, like I need some assistance. So I would hope that people could really like dissect it and like compartmentalize what it really is and that it's the art and it's the craft. So if you're mad at the product, then be mad at the person because that's what people are. It was very popular. The site's still up, so it's not. People are watching it. It's a thing that people enjoy. So
Sure. I have
yeah,
a question. We run this every time. We ask. It's
please.
SAK, SAK. Okay. And that stands for shit, animals, and kids. Because during our first season, we would ask girls, what is something you absolutely would not do in porn? And inevitably, they all said something along the lines of, well, I wouldn't fuck any children. And we're like, yeah, no. We're
No
aware.
shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yes, yeah.
That's
So,
legal.
with those three out, could you please give me something you would, and it's a two-part question,
Hmm.
something you a type of scene or a niche or something like that that you would take a discount for, like obviously you know your worth and everything, but like
Oh,
you
I feel
love it so much. And then also something that the example on the other end is something Sarah J has never shot an anal scene and she's been offered 10,000, 20,000, X amount. What is something where the dollar amount doesn't matter, it's just not in your repertoire? I ain't doing that.
so. Something I wouldn't do is I've been offered so many times to go shoot overseas in Europe, and I'm not down. I just I'm not down. I'll be the top, but they don't. I'm not a top. So in Europe, I'm not a top. I have a vagina and a butthole. I'm a double bottom. So I just like I one of my favorite performers is Adriana Chechek, and she did this scene where she did I think four guys in her asshole, and I just I don't know how her body did that. Like I
It's
read it,
stretched.
I read, saw it. Like I know she stretches and she does squats and shit, but I just don't physically. I don't see that in my future whatsoever. I have nothing to prove. I don't I don't whatever. I don't care. It's all right. I'll let whoever does all of that stuff. I'll watch it. I'll buy it, download, whatever. I just have no intentions in doing multiple people in one hole. Like either hole really. Like I just would like to keep it's one hole. I would like to put one thing in there, you know?
So are you capping it at 4? Because that's where you started, or is it 2?
I'll have two dicks, one in one hole. One hole. Or
Okay.
at three, mouth, vagina, butthole. I can do
Sure.
that. But
Airtight,
at
that's
two,
fine.
that's as far as I can go as airtight. I can't go
N-
space
not even
station.
2 in one pussy, huh?
No,
I
she said no.
can't.
What are you not
All
getting?
right.
I
No.
Well,
I
sometimes, you
You're
take
not
those
gonna
giant
convince her
dicks that
over
are like,
Zoom,
those
Shane.
dildos that are
What are you
like,
doing?
they look like a big fucking, like a support for a diesel truck, you know? You seen those
yeah.
dildos?
I'm not even like a size queen. Like I totally would have dated some guys in porn, but their dicks are too big. So I just like, you're not a boyfriend dick person. I'll just wait till I catch you in the next scene. Um
What a
so
great
yeah, I don't
problem to have.
I know it's a good problem. If you ask Isaiah, he's probably not gonna say the same thing, but Isaiah Maxwell is
Yep.
known for that
Yep.
big old dick. But I would probably do most any other scene for free because there's a lot of times that I go to work and I forget that I am supposed to get paid. I'm like, oh yay!
Okay, well, don't
So
say that too
almost
loud. We have
Yeah.
I know
industry people that listen to
that.
us. Don't say Anna Foxxx will come shoot your scene for free.
No,
But
I know.
what's a fetish or a niche that you want to do more scenes of, like a certain type?
Yeah,
Okay.
I wish I was a better dominatrix, but I'm too happy. And then I feel like when I go evil, it's like it's not fair to the person. Like you don't deserve this whooping from like all the past shit I'm thinking about. So I I'm either too nice or way too aggressive. So I need to find that happy medium. If I could be a a good dom, like I love being a sub, and if I could just like dom people the way that the doms dom me, I would just like die happy. So that's probably like the last thing on my bucket list to become a awesome dom.
Okay. All right.
Oh
We are
yeah.
going to wrap up soon. Just got a
Yay!
couple more questions for you.
That's fair.
When was the first time you seem like you're really good at it? Also, I have a comment too. When was the first time you got involved with anal sex?
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you were about to say BJ's. I was like, oh no. um, so it's really funny because I never even considered anal when I got into porn. Like, I never really, I knew people did it, but I never like thought about it like seriously. Like, I was like, oh, I'm immune. I'm not even over there. And then recently I just did a shoot with the company that I started with. Like one of my first shoots, they showed me my interview from my first shoot, and my little happy ass is like, oh, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm never going. Oh, I would never put that in me. So, way too excited, way too happy, and I remember saying I would never, ever, ever do anal. And I think I took it seriously like after my fourth year in porn. I started like wondering like, okay, I want to try more things. I want to try new things now that I'm comfortable with this and that. Like I want to try something new. So like an anal offer came on the table and I was like, hold on, give me 6 months to research it, ask everybody I know. Like I got all my gay friends together, all my whole friends, my whole friends' moms. I asked everybody I could, the deli dude. I was like, how do y'all do it? I went to the Abbey and WeHo, and I was like, what's, give me all the stats. I Googled everything. Google sucks. You really have to ask people in real life. So I asked every like, slut I could find and was like, teach, teach me your ways. So after a few months of like research, I call it, I felt comfortable enough to try it. And I felt like I wanted to try it with like the biggest, the best, and like the most like who if people are afraid of this one, I want to try it so I can conquer it and feel comfortable moving on. If I start off easy, then I won't have an easier road going up. If I go to the hardest boss and conquer the boss, then I can go down. So I found that Adriano was probably the biggest and the most aggressive that I could do. So I was like, all right, I met him. He told me what to do, what to learn, what to teach, and like how to have a successful scene. I went home, researched some more, then jumped on it. And I think that mindset really helped me because yeah, I'm not scared. This is
I'll
big.
tell you what, for the dudes listening or watching, gay dudes, like if you want to convince and I'm talking to straight dudes, but if you want to convince your wife to do anal, you need to get some gay dudes in your life because they will convince her to try it.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
a
I
hundred.
remember I asked my wife's gay friend, I was like, so when you get fucked in the ass, like it just sucks the whole time, right? It's not fun at all. It couldn't be enjoyable. You're just getting pounded in the ass. Like, how could you like that, you know? And
Oh, I
he's
love
like,
it.
well, yeah, he goes, sometimes I just come from getting fucked in the ass. And I was like, you mean like you're jerking off at the same time? He's like,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. I just come with a soft dick. And I was like,
yeah,
what? So
yeah.
I made her want to try it.
I swear, amen advice is what made me the most comfortable because like they're frequent flyers. Like they know what it's all about, and just hearing their like orgasm experiences, I was like, well, damn, it sounds like the asshole is easier to conquer than the clit. I want
Way,
to know that.
way.
Shane, you want to ask your question that you inevitably ask every girl we interview?
I mean, come on, man. It's not like I'm like doing a disservice or anything by asking the question.
Not at all.
Ask.
How do you like piss?
Oh, that's so much. Okay, I'm not shy. So, like I said, I'm a curious person, so I wanted to try a bunch of shit just to figure out if it was my thing or not. And I heard all this rage about piss, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm curious. So I have found that um I tried to get like this one guy that I'm still like enamored with to pee on me, but he's a fitness person and I could taste all of the vitamins and shit that he like
Ugh.
takes through the pee. So pee pee is not necessarily for me, but I love to piss on people. I will piss in your
Oh,
piss in your
yeah.
mouth, piss on your face.
Sign me up.
I make sure that I drink a lot of liquids so that way my pee never goes to yellow. It's always like white wine, like Sauvignon Blanc. It's my pee pee.
That's the finest piss.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I had this one person that we would just hook up here and there. And one time we were like super drunk and I was like, I gotta pee. And he's like, oh wait, I'll be your toilet. And I was like, okay. So I had so much pee because it was drunk pee. It's like a gallon. And I peed and like he didn't let one drop, like he drank the whole thing. He didn't let one drop
Hell
spill.
yeah.
And I was just like, I was very impressed. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's
Thank
probably
you.
practiced.
So yeah, he's probably, yeah, it wasn't his first, was not the last. But I think my fetish, my kink or anything is like whenever somebody is excited by something, I'm like very observant and I really like whatever people like. So when you're excited about something, it makes me excited. I'm like, let's do it. So yeah, if you want to get peed on, I'll pee on you.
That's the best answer I've ever had.
It's fun.
2 last questions for you. Who is the new up and coming Black female star? Because I have an answer and we've interviewed her.
Yes. In my opinion, my favorite new Black up and coming starlet is Nicole Kitt. She's so freaking hot, so pretty.
Not who we interviewed, but I would love to. I was gonna say a very close friend of ours. I saw a picture of Avery Jane. Yep.
Her too, man. Avery Jane is okay. Hold up. I love Nicole, but Avery Jane is like everybody's spirit animal. Like she is like the perfect definition of, in the best way, a slut. Like I love her. She's phenomenal. She's badass. Her ass is badass. Like she's so
Best
juicy and
body.
cute. And
yeah,
I love her. And I'm mad that I haven't worked with her yet. Like I'm just dying to like do some shit with her. But whatever, for me, whatever Avery wants, I would do whatever Avery wants. If she wanted to pee on me, I'll let Avery pee on me.
I got one final question here, and then we're gonna plug in. We're gonna let you go back. How many athletes are in your DMs?
Oh my God! You know what's funny is that so when I was in high school as a cheerleader, and I have these brothers, so I never liked athletes. I already know what they're up to. But currently, I think there's 3 that came in this week, and they came in like a few hours after each other. And I was like, they must be with each other and like kind of having a bet to see who I speak to first, because it's like 3 blue check marks pop up with like the same amount of followers for the same team and everything. And I'm like, oh, no. You guys are definitely betting like, who does she talk to? Who can get her? Who can this and that? Like, I'm an athlete. Like you can't out athlete me. I know you can run a whole bunch of yards, but I suck a whole bunch of dicks. So I beat you.
I will never ask you to out anyone. Can you tell me the sport? You said run a bunch of yards. They're football players.
Yeah, it's football. It's always football.
Professional, college?
It's professional. Yeah, I fucked around and the slut in me like tried it once and I was like, never again. I already knew it was bad. So no, I'm not gonna get back in there.
Fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, that was on Ana Foxxx. Ana Foxxx. Okay.
Yes.
When she shoots in Europe with Avery Jane, who apparently loves to go to Prague, which you won't do, but she'll convince you someday.
No, I'm gonna be like, if I go to Europe with her, I'm gonna just be the person that hands her lube. I can't hang.
That's a busy job too. Ana Foxxx, you're gonna follow her on Twitter, ANAFOXXX, on OnlyFans, Ana Foxxx. Instagram, Foxy_Scorpio. And if you want to give Ana Foxxx a feel, which is the creepiest thing I've ever said, go to fleshlight.com/Ana Foxxx. Ana, you've been really phenomenal today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Matt, Shane. It's been an honor. You guys are fucking awesome.
The honor is ours.
Thanks for listening.
This is a curtsy.
That's a curtsy. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.